It was getting toward the end of the night at Rouse, the hedonistic swirl of food, banter, profanity and sing-alongs finally dying down, affording Bo Dietl the rare chance for reflection. He leaned against the bar, his usual pink drink of Kettle One, club soda and cranberry juice in hand, his mind on the New York City of old and the race for mayor that could have been. "Memories are so beautiful," he said, punctuating his comment with one of many unprintable words and phrases heard that night. "That's what I love about falling asleep and dreaming. The old days was a lot better. You didn't have some towelhead running you over." He added, as if to acknowledge his offensive remark about a terror attack in New York days before Election Day, "I'm so happy I'm not running for mayor. I can say what I want." 9 days after finishing 6th out of 7 candidates in the mayoral race, Mr. Dietl returned to his usual Thursday night table at Rouse in East Harlem, the Italian restaurant famed for its exclusivity and straight-from-central casting history as a mobster's redoubt. For Mr. Dietl, as for other regulars, the restaurant remains a kind of refuge, a place out of time where there is no menu. Nearly every diner breaks into song when the jukebox begins playing its usual list of Sinatra and standards, and Christmas decorations hang year-round, a quirk born, the owner said, of some long-ago laziness that grew into a signature decor. It is a place where bygones can be bygones, and Bo can be Bo. It is also, perhaps, the one place where Mr. Dietl could plausibly claim to be mayor. Men and women, but mostly men, crouched to kiss his cheek and offer words of encouragement as they entered and left through the restaurant's red doors, a path that forced all to pass by Mr. Dietl, who sat in his usual perch at table 1, reserved for him every Thursday night, by the front door. "I agree with everything he says," said a longtime Rouse regular, Gigi Napolitano, 75, who grew up next door to the East Harlem restaurant. Another praised Mr. Dietl. "The debates were great," said the man, referring to the 2 raucous televised mayoral debates in which Mr. Dietl shared the stage with Mayor Bill de Blasio and the Republican candidate, Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis. "Thank you, Lou," Mr. Dietl replied. "A little quiet," the man observed sardonically. "If I was any more animated, I would have punched him in the face," Mr. Dietl said. Mr. Dietl began coming to the restaurant as a police officer assigned to the local precinct in the 1970s. He said he secured his table in 1977 from the owner at the time, Frank Pellegrino, when it was much less difficult to get in, and many of the regulars were believed to have mob connections. He credited the table with launching his business career after he left the police department several years later. "Rouse has been responsible for my life taking off," he said. "It was not cop and wise guys. It was like family for much of the campaign, and his life before." Mr. Dietl has traded on his table at Rouse. He has given it up for charity, and offered it as an inducement during his mayoral campaign to donors, though there were no takers.